So that wasn't the fastest turning, but essentially the F2L solution was pauseless. And the reason why I was able to pull that off is because of look ahead. Look ahead is just kind of this term that cubers toss around the community, and I understand how it could be very difficult for beginners to even try to get at what this even means. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to try to offer my insight on what look ahead means to an intermediate cuber. So, what is look ahead? Well, to me, look ahead is a string that ties every single sequence of move that you do on the cube together into one flowing motion. I kind of like to think about it like choreography, where dancers will practice each part of the entire sequence, and then when they put it finally all together with the rhythm and the music at the end, that is what look ahead is about. So, in order to master each specific part of the dance, cubers actually need to know quite a fair bit about the 3x3 puzzle. So I would recommend cubers to be around sub 25 or maybe even sub 20 before they even start looking into this topic. So today I'll be breaking down my introduction to look ahead into three parts: look anywhere, look somewhere, and finally prediction. And disclaimer, I am not the best cuber in the world by far. I average around low 10 seconds, sometimes sub 10, so please check out any resources on the platform and check out other cubers that are way better than me at this. The first step I mentioned is look anywhere, and by that I really just mean look at any other piece other than the current ones that you are solving. So for example, if I was to solve this orange-green pair, I would be staring at the rest of the cube other than these two pieces and the slot that it's going in. The reason why we do this is because if we stare at the pieces we're currently solving, we don't get any new information about what pairs could come next, and that is the essence of F2L, trying to predict a little bit into the future so that we minimize our transition times in between the sequences of moves. So how do we take our eyes off of the current pieces that we're solving? This requires a deep understanding of advanced F2L, both efficiency-wise and execution-wise. And one way I like to tell people to check whether or not they can actually look elsewhere is to find an F2L pair, do it as fast as they can with their eyes closed, and see if they can get it. So for example, for this piece, it'll look like that. And then you would just do that around the cube, and then if you can do it, then you are ready for the next step, which is look at somewhere a little more specific. So after we're able to look away from the pieces that we're solving and let muscle memory take over, the next question is, what are we even looking at? Because if we stare at, like, say, a bunch of yellow pieces when we are solving the white cross, it actually doesn't help us reduce any pausing in the F2L stage. So an F2L pair is just a matching corner and edge. And if we think about it that way, those are the two elements that we have to keep track of. So a good example here, we have a back slot already solved, and then this front slot here is going to be solved in like 3 moves. And we notice that there's a flip pair here, and maybe we can take advantage of this flip pair with keyhole. So I noticed that the corner and its corresponding edge, both elements are going to be in this position when I insert this F2L pair. These two are not going to move. So then I can insert this pair and go immediately into the next pair without pausing. And if we can do this more often when we're solving our current pair, then this will ultimately reduce our pauses. 2 more tips on how to find our next pieces quickly and accurately. One of the biggest tips is to solve the back slots first if possible. This is because if we do so, this gives our eyes a higher percentage to find our next remaining pieces because the unsolved pieces are largely facing towards us. So I can immediately notice this pair and this pair without having to do much work. And another good trick is called bookmarking, or when you're solving your current pairs, notice the general location of some pieces that are unlikely to move. So for example, this corner is already solved, and solving those 2 back slots most likely will not move this corner. So if we can realize that fact when we're solving the back slots, we have an easier time keyholing and then finishing out F2L. The final step is prediction, and a lot of times I can't even take advantage of this. So prediction basically allows you to know exactly what F2L case you're going to get after you solve your current case. But here's an easy example to demonstrate. So this 3 mover can be solved with the wide insert, and I am keeping track of this Christmas pair currently. And I know that inserting this picture pair would not break this pair, so I can just go into it right away. But then for the majority of the time, I can only track where the pieces are. But then there are some cases where I know immediately how the pieces are going to end up because of my F2L knowledge. Personally, I just think this takes a lot of solves and experience, and there's no really good way to teach it case by case. So practice a lot, have a lot of fun, and then you get better at F2L and look ahead in general. Okay, let's do an example F2L walkthrough, and I'll talk through what I am thinking. So first of all, I notice this pair can go into the back, which is orange blue, and we can pair like this, and we have to know all this information. Meanwhile, I noticed that this Christmas pair edge is already solved in its correct position, so we might be able to take advantage of it with keyhole. So we'll do that, and that edge can be set up over here with keyhole. Meanwhile, I saw this pair pop up in front of me. So we can keyhole this, keep track of this. This can be set up into a 3 mover, and these are the next 2 pieces that I am tracking. And they both end up in the top layer. And then finally, this last case. And then that wraps up F2L. I hope this video will give you guys a general introduction to look ahead. I'm not that great at this, so I'm not the best at explaining it either, but I feel like I did my best. Yeah, let me know if this type of content actually helps you guys, and I wish you all the best. Have fun with cubing and keep on improving, keep getting faster. Thanks for watching.